I know that AWS has led the charge on machine learning going back to the 90s. I know you've been developing models for use internally. What I want to know concretely is, when did Amazon take the decision that they would develop large language models for release to cloud customers?
Oh, well, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be with you. Really appreciate it. As you said, Amazon has been really deeply invested in machine learning and AI for well over a couple of decades. And we actually have had large language models, in production across Amazon for a good amount of time now, whether it's powering Alexa, powering things in our fulfillment centers, powering our retail search. Again, that's been going on for quite a while, and what we're doing today is announcing really exciting things to democratize generative AI, so that customers in every industry for every use case have access, and that these capabilities won't be restricted to experts.
But did you decide to do this because earlier this year Microsoft announced a big deal with OpenAI, and you're trying to play catch up?
No, we're really doing this because in so many of our customer conversations now, our customers, and of course we have the most broadly and deeply deployed cloud in the world, and the most number of large customer deployments. And in so many of those customer conversations, they ask us, what can you do to help us with generative AI? We need a broad array of solutions. And it really comes down to choice. So many companies understand that there's not going to be one model, one large language model or foundation model that works for every use case, and there won't be, even within one customer, it won't work that way. There's going to need to be a choice. And so what we're really trying to do is democratize and provide access to many leading foundation models, and do it all in a managed service that's secure and that integrates with AWS. And that's why we've released Amazon Bedrock today.
I have spoken to a number of AWS customers who frankly, Adam, had their heads turned by that Microsoft OpenAI partnership. They kind of acknowledged how quickly Microsoft integrated the OpenAI tools into the Azure cloud platform. How much of a threat is that? Because they may well be AWS customers. Specifically, they're interested in those OpenAI tools. How confident are you that Titan and Bedrock are competitive tools for use in the enterprise space?
Well, we're very excited, and we're confident that the capabilities we're announcing today are going to be really useful for customers. Now, of course, it is early days still in all of generative AI. So it's going to be years of innovation. We're going to have to listen very closely to customers to come up with the right next investments and the right solutions. But we're very confident that these are going to be exciting new capabilities. So there's Amazon Bedrock, which is, of course, the easiest way for customers to build their own applications and their own solutions on top of foundation models. In addition, we've released really important new compute capabilities to allow experts and folks building their own models to really do so in a cost-effective and an energy-efficient fashion. These foundation models have traditionally cost a lot of money and taken a lot of time to train. They're big endeavors. And so today we've released a new custom-designed chip from Amazon, right, our Inferentia line of chips, which are going to be in our Inf2 compute instances, compute capability, and also a new set of compute capabilities with very, very high throughput networking for training these models. So got that foundation layer, you've got Amazon Bedrock at the managed service layer, and then we've got applications which we're releasing today as well, higher up the stack.
It's interesting to talk about the GPUs, right? A lot of the market look at Nvidia and say, they're in pole position to seize on the investment needed to power artificial intelligence. Can you quantify the advantage that you feel you have through the internal work you've done in silicon and chip design?
Well, of course, this is very dependent on use case and exactly what you're comparing. But I would say in general, with these new capabilities that we're announcing today, we've seen on the compute layer, we've seen improvements in price performance of, call it 40%, up to 40% compared to other Amazon EC2, which is our compute service, other EC2 capabilities. And we're confident because customers are telling us that both for training as well as for inference or running models in production, that AWS is going to be the best place for running those workloads in the world.
The story around Inferentia 2 and Trainium also goes to your pricing strategy, right? How flexible can you be in pricing of these artificial intelligence tools and package them, given that you control the processing?
Well, we realized almost a decade ago that in order to really provide customers long-term with the price performance that they're going to need for very demanding, compute-intensive workloads, that we really needed to invest in and innovate on the silicon layer. And so for almost a decade, we've been hard at work with our own custom chip program. And we're actually several generations in, which is considerably further ahead than anybody else. And as a result, we've really gotten to some really exciting price performance improvements. And more, what's important to our customers is also the most energy efficient environment for running these workloads. And that's just become such a big deal these days, and particularly in context of training and running these large foundation models. They're just very, very compute intensive. And in order to make the economics work and in order to enable our customers to build vibrant and long-term businesses, they're going to need the right price performance characteristics, and that's what we're focused on at that layer.
Adam, considering the data inputs, is Amazon at a disadvantage when you consider the data available to an Alphabet, and Microsoft, and Meta even in training their models?
We have vast arrays of data available to us from all sorts of different sources, both internal to Amazon as well as external. So we're confident that the Amazon Titan models that we announced today, which are Amazon's own branded foundation models, which of course will be available as part of Amazon Bedrock, along with leading third-party startups, that the Amazon Titan models will be really exciting and are going to power both Amazon internal use cases as well as being available to our external customers to build generative AI solutions and applications on top of us.
Adam, you've played your hand in the field of generative AI on the same day that Andy Jassy, CEO of the broader company, has given his kind of outlook on the world. He talked about AWS facing short-term headwinds. How are you managing those short-term headwinds? What is the Adam Selipsky view of the world, macro speaking, right now?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that there have been macroeconomic headwinds. Companies in all sorts of different industries have seen slowdowns, or as you put it, headwinds of different varieties. We're very confident in the kind of long-term outlook for AWS. Demand for the cloud remains strong. Customers tell us that we remain, as we always have been, the leading cloud with the broadest set of capabilities and the deepest set of features within each of our services, with the leading security, leading operational performance of any cloud in the world. So we feel very confident that we're going to remain on a long-term road to providing value. And in the short term, we're really focused on continuing to innovate in the areas that matter most to our customers, such as generative AI and such as bringing choice and democratization to that area, just like AWS has always done for compute and has always done for IT. And of course, on helping our customers as they try and be cost efficient and they try and tighten their belts. We don't lean away from that. We lean into that and we say, let us work with you to help you lower your costs because we know you need this right now.
Hey, Adam, of the layoffs announced within Amazon, what percentage go to AWS and what's the timeline for them to be enacted? Really quick.
I don't think we've talked publicly about internal groups and which is how much. AWS is participating in that exercise, and it's really about reprioritizing and making sure that we are focused across AWS, just as across Amazon, on our most important priorities. And wherever possible, we're moving people from team A to team B and priority A to priority B. And there are some cases where we just won't have the right skill sets, and so we'll need to make adjustments and then go out externally and hire the skill sets that our customers need the most for us to innovate in the things that are most important to them right now.